was a very interesting menu. Vikram, you mentioned before about running for the train.
Yes.
At the time when the trains were standing still.
Yes.
So who was in motion and who was standing still? What was the means of transit at that point? And when we talk about transit, we tend to think about trains, cars, buses, aeroplanes. But we don't think about these. These are the second most efficient form of transport that there is. Does anybody know what the first one is?
The brain?
Hmm?
The brain.
Bicycle. It's a bicycle.
Oh.
I
know.
So it is.
When to?
And I want to tell a story about these guys. When I was a much younger man, I was called up. I was conscripted to do Army service, and we were taken to a base in the middle of nowhere. We were told to get off the bus, bring our kid with us, put the kid on the ground, line up in rows of 3, and start running. And I was like, great, running is a great way to get from A to B. So they said, run around that tree and come back and get back in the lines of 3. Now wait a second, that was A to A. Was I in transit or was I not in transit? I was certainly moving. I was certainly giving out a lot of energy, but I was back in A. Now in the Army, running is used as a form of transit at some point, but not during training. During training, it's a question of discipline, and it's also a question of physical fitness. The more you run, the more fit you are. I recall later on in my Army service when I was training to be an officer, at the same base where we were training, there was also a company of soldiers from Africa, from Zaire at the time, what's the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And these guys would run, and they would sing when they ran. They would sing these fantastic songs. So of course we saw that, and we thought it would be a fantastic idea to sing as we were running as well. So we had our nightly run. The nightly run was a short run, about 1K or something. You did just to free up your bones before you went to sleep. You ran from A to A. And so we sang. We sang while we ran. Of course, we sang our songs. We didn't sing African songs. And we got to the end, and we were about to go to the bed, and the commander said, back in lines of 3. And we said, lines of 3, why would that be? I said, you like to sing when you run? Let's see you sing for 10Ks. And so we ran for 10Ks, and we ran and ran and ran, and of course you have no choice not to do it. And we came back to A. Now this was becoming really, really annoying, this A to A business, because we were trying to get somewhere. We were trying to get from the beginning of the course to the end of the course. We wanted to be officers. A to A. Finally, at the end of the course, the very end of the course, the end of our officers' course, because running is such a big deal, is a celebratory run of 40 Ks. Not in one shot, you do get to stop. It's an all-night thing. You get all your kit together at 6 o'clock in the evening, you pack everything onto your back, you start running, and you run. And you run and you run. And I was running as well. You can't see it on me that I was able to do that, but I was when I was a younger man, not fat like today, not old, not after a heart attack. And about 1 kilometer from our base, and we'd been running for 8 hours, we'd been running for 9 hours. 1 kilometer from the base, we could already see the lights of the base. It was close to 6 a.m. I felt myself go down with all this equipment on me, all of my kit, and my weapon, and my backpack, and everything else. And I saw stars, and it wasn't the nighttime stars. But I felt this incredible pain in my arm. And I could hardly get up. I couldn't get up. I couldn't move. And another one of the guys, one of my comrades, who it turns out today is my advocate, he grabbed me up, picked me up. He said, we're 1K from the end. You're going to finish this thing. And he took a whole Snickers bar and jammed it into my mouth. And then he closed my mouth. And then he opened my mouth. And he closed my mouth, and the sugar hit me. And he picked me with one hand and ran together with me while my hand was dangling down and painting incredibly, until we got back to A. But in fact, it wasn't A,
Yeah.
because I had finally gotten to B. Because I had gotten to a certain knowledge about myself that I hadn't gotten before. And then, of course, the next day they sent us home, which really was